Hey, Kairui, do you really want to play this Wii realm? Hearing that this game is super hardcore, novices can make people cry. Shintian's voice was a little worried on the head of the phone. I lay on the bed in the dormitory, wearing the holographic helmet I bought, and grinned, crying. That depends on who is abused. Wait, I have to make some achievements in this game. After saying that, I directly called and pressed the start button of the helmet. After a daze, the world in front of me changed. I stood in a broken village, and there were pits on the dirt road, and there were NPCs wearing rags, walking back and forth with a dull look on their faces. There was still a faint smell of grass in the air, and the truth was simply gone. This is the novice village of the realm of nothingness, Huitu village. Ding! Welcome the player Nightblade to enter the realm of nothing. Please choose a career. The system prompt sound rose in my brain, and at the same time, a translucent panel popped out, which listed the common careers of warriors, wizards, and archers. I glanced at it and felt a little unhappy. Those are they? Nothing new. Just as I was about to choose an assassin to play, my fingers just slid over the screen, and the panel suddenly flashed, like a jam. What's the situation? Isn't it going to be a bad helmet? I muttered and poked the screen a few times. At this moment, a line of small characters suddenly appeared on the panel, and the characters were still red, especially eye-catching hidden job, shadow assassin, are you sure? Hidden career? My eyes lit up, and my heart beat faster. This is a rare cargo in the game. It is probably because of some bug in the system, otherwise why would it jump out in vain? I didn't say anything, just clicked to confirm. Ding! Congratulations to the player's Nightblade for unlocking the hidden career, Shadow Assassin. He won the special skill Shadow Instant Kill. The system sounded up again, and I looked down and there was indeed an extra logo with black light in the skill column. Shadow Killing, move behind the target instantly, causing 200% violent damage, and the cold time is 30 seconds. Bored, this skill is too distorted. I couldn't help but swear, 200% violent attack, and teleportation effect. Isn't this just opening? But I didn't get excited yet, and the system dial sounded again. I detected the system abnormality and hidden bonuses to be exposed. Congratulations to the player Nightblade for winning the god-level pet Nether Wolf King. As the voice fell, the air around me twisted, and a giant wolf with black body appeared beside me. Its eyes were emitting a faint blue light, its hair was flowing like a black fog, and it also held a skull in its mouth, which looked extremely irritating. Is this a magical pet? I swallowed and clicked on its attribute panel to see that the attack power and speed were directly out of the box. There was also a passive skill called Death Bite, which could directly weaken the enemy's defense by 30%. Ha, system bug. I'm flying directly. I couldn't hold my mouth together, and turned around in the village with the Nether Wolf King. All the players passing by came to see each other with a strange look. Bottle, what's the thing around you? Wolf-shaped pet? Is there something in the novice village? Looking at the wolf shape, the designation is not simple, 80% of it was obtained by any hidden mission. I heard these comments and felt happy. But I didn't have time to waste time and took on a novice mission, killing the crazy wild pig outside the village 10, and walked straight to the entrance of the village. When I arrived outside, I saw a group of wild pigs with sharp teeth arching in the grass. Their body was 2 circles larger than the ones in reality, and their eyes were still red, which was quite scary. I was about to try a tester, but the system jumped another prompt. Is it a challenge to detect the elite monster Rampage Pig King? Elite monster? Is there such a thing in the novice village? I was stunned for a moment, then grinned. I've come here, what if I don't do it? As the voice fell, a monster 3 times larger than an ordinary wild pig suddenly appeared in the grass. The hair on its body was as hard as a steel flare, and saliva dripped in its mouth, staring at me straight. Several players around who were killing monsters stopped when they saw this scene. Both slot, is that an elite monster? How can the novice village make this thing? That guy is done. The elite monster has a very high attack power. We can't stand this cracked device at all. I heard these words and sneered, "Can't hold it." "That's you." I directly ordered the Nether Wolf King, "Go, bite it." The Nether Wolf King growled, and his body turned into a black shadow, which instantly slapped on the Pig King, and his claws ripped off a large piece of flesh and blood. The Pig King let out a harsh cry, and his blood dropped by 1/3. "Bottle, is this pet so fierce?" The players next to them were stunned. I ignored them, held the dagger in my novice, and silently recited shadow killing. The next second, my whole body seemed to have merged into the shadow, and appeared directly behind the Pig King, and the dagger stabbed it hard into the back. Breaking, -450. The Pig King's blood strips were instantly cleared, and he fell to the ground, and a bunch of copper coins and a green piece of equipment exploded. Ding! Congratulations to the player Nightblade for killing the elite monster Furious Pig King, and gaining additional experience value and upgrading to level 5. I looked at the system prompts and was satisfied with the spot. When he turned around, all the players around him were talking, his eyes were full of shock. Level 5? This guy is just entering the game, why is it so fast? What is his skill? Teleportation and violence, I can't even see the shadow clearly. I picked up the green accessories on the ground, glanced at them casually, and said lightly, "What are you looking at?" "It's just an elite monster, a little bit." After saying that, I turned around with the Nether Wolf King, leaving a group of people stunned. But I haven't walked far away, and there was a dissonant sound behind me. "Hey, that boy, stop." A player wearing a warrior equipment walked over and the ID was Fist Overlord. There were 7 or 8 younger brothers behind him, and it was obvious that he was looking for trouble. I stopped and turned to look at him. "Is there anything wrong?" The Overlord of the Iron Boxing sneered and pointed at me and said, "The elite monster you killed just now was originally the goal of our group, but you ended up killing me. Hand over the explosive equipment, otherwise don't blame us for being rude." "Stop it." I was happy and glanced at the group of people behind him. The equipment was broken, and the level was only 3 or 4, and I was less than half. "Just like you, is it worthy to tell me this?" Boy is very crazy." The Fist Overlord's face darkened and he said, "Brothers, give it to me and wipe him out." As the voice fell, the little brother behind him rushed over, holding a novice weapon in his hand, and his energy was not weak. I shook my head and sighed, looking for death. Then I shrugged the Nether Wolf King, "Tear them." The Nether Wolf King roared and turned into a black shadow and rushed into the crowd. His claws were blown away and blood was covered with several little brothers, and he didn't even have the chance to get some hands on them. And I opened the shadow instant killing, and when I flashed, I came to the Fist Overlord, and the dagger pierced his back. Breaking, -380. The Fist Overlord blood bar instantly saw the bottom of his head, his eyes widened, and he turned to look at me, his face full of disbelief. What are you doing this?" I sneered and put away my dagger. "Operation. This is called practicality. Remember, before finding fault next time, think about how many pounds you are." After saying that, I kicked his body open and turned to look at the remaining few little brothers. Their faces were pale and they couldn't even hold their weapons. They shouted tremblingly, "Big brother, we are wrong, don't kill us." I took them seriously and left directly with the Nether Wolf King. Behind him, a group of players discussing each other, and the sound became louder and louder. "Bored, this guy is too fierce. He can even instantly win the Iron Boxing Overlord. His skills and pets are absolutely not simple, he is probably a hidden boss. Remember his ID, Yeblade, don't mess with this character in the future." I felt secretly happy when I heard these words. I made such a big and tranquil just as I entered the game. It seems that the realm of nothing is definitely to be a tradition. However, this is just the beginning. There are more monsters waiting for me to fight outside the village. The real challenge has not come yet. I looked at the forest far away, my mouth slightly raised, I held the dagger tightly, and opened my foot. I took the Nether Wolf King around the forest outside the novice village. Just now, the operation of the Facepush Fist Overlord made me feel good. I was clutching the green equipment that exploded from the elite monster in my hand, a wild pig legs, with some defense and speed added, which was quite good, so I changed it directly. The blood and movement speeds were slightly smaller, and I felt happy in my heart, and I was ready to take on several tasks and obstacles. As soon as I returned to Huetu village, the old NPC village chief with a facial pattern at the entrance of the village waved to me, and his voice was as sandy as frosted paper. "Young adventurer, I think you are extraordinary, can you help me with me?" I walked over and glanced at him. "What's the busy thing?" "Let's listen." The old village chief coughed twice, his eyes filled with anxiety. "There is an ancient fortress in the mountain behind the village. Recently, it was occupied by a group of Black Shan wolves. Their head Black Shan wolf emperor was extremely devastated, threatening the safety of the village. I am old and have no choice but to deal with it, and the young people in the village dare not go. If you can clear them, I will be grateful." Ding! Do you accept the hidden mission crisis of the Back Mountain sacrificial supremacy? Mission goal: kill the Black Wind Wolf King and 10 Black Wind Wolves. Bonus: unknown rare equipment, large amount of experience, failure penalty, level down to level 1. Hidden mission? My eyes lit up. This is a good thing, and the prize will definitely be more fragrant than ordinary missions. Although there are punishments for failure, I have the Shadow Killing and the Nether Wolf King in my hands. How many wolves can I be afraid of? I immediately confirmed it. "Okay, wrap it up on me." I patted my chest, turned around and walked towards the back mountain. Several players who passed by the village heard this conversation and all came to shocking eyes. Trouble, hidden mission? Why is this guy so good at it? The Black Wind Wolf in the back mountain is not something you can play. Ordinary player teams have to flip through. Can he do it alone? I didn't pay attention to these arguments, and I only had one thought in my mind: fight quickly and win the prize. The back mountain is not far away from the village. When you pass through a sparse forest of trees, you can see a broken stone fortress. The surroundings are full of dark wolf shadows, and the eyes are green, and looking far away makes people look very proud. I counted, there were about a dozen black stying wolves, and the body was a circle larger than that of ordinary wild pigs. There was a wolf king with a particularly eye-catching hair in the center. His hair was as black as ink, and his body was as big as a calf. He was also holding a bloody bone in his mouth, which was so powerful that he was holding a person. Ding! I detected the BOSS Black Wind Wolf King, level 10, with extremely high attack power. It is recommended to team to challenge. The system prompt sounded, and I curled my lips. Team? I'm alone. Wolf King, put it on me and tear them. I snatched my hand, and the Nether Wolf King roared and turned into a black shadow that slammed the wolf pack. With a slap, he grabbed the Black Wind Wolf and saw it directly in the blood and killed it in seconds. I didn't bother to open the shadow instant killing. When I flashed, I came to another black stying wolf, and the dagger pierced into its back. Breaking, -420. Kill it in seconds, clean and neat. The Black Shan wolf around was angry and roared at me, but I was not panicked. I relied on the teleportation skill to dodge left and right, and cooperated with the Nether Wolf King's biting, and cleared the monster in a few minutes. The Black Wind Wolf Emperor saw his subordinates being slaughtered, and finally couldn't sit still. He raised his head and howled, black air came out of his body, and his speed surged, and his claws slapped at me. Both slot, will this boss still add buff? I was shocked, but my reaction was not slow. I avoided the attack with my body, and a shadow kill appeared behind it with a backhand, and the dagger stabbed its back leg. Breaking, -480. The Black Wind Wolf Emperor lost 1/3 of his blood strip, and he let out an angry roar, and turned around and slapped me with one claw. I didn't have time to hide, so I ate this time, and the blood strip fell 1/4. Hiss, this guy has such a high attack power. I gritted my teeth and opened the distance, leaving the Nether Wolf King in front. The death-biting effect of the Wolf King was exposed, and the Black Wind Wolf King's defense was weakened. I took advantage of the opportunity to rush to the side and another wave of instant killing to increase the normal attack, and the blood pressure was less than halfway. Just as I was about to take a slam to fuck it, a sudden burst of stomping sound came from behind, accompanied by a sneer. "Yé bien, I didn't expect you to come to the back mountain alone. You're so stupid." I turned around and saw several players wearing a unified guild uniform walking over. The guy who was leading the ID was Baisu. He was wearing a blue dress, holding a long sword in his hand, and his eyes were full of picking. There were 5 or 6 people following him, all of whom were at level 8, and the equipment was much stronger than that of ordinary players. At first glance, he was a team of organizations. Bye? I narrowed my eyes and heard the character, the president of the top guild in the game, the president of the Blade of Heaven, and said that he had taken many tasks in the Novice village. He was very famous, but he also attracted people to hate. "It's you, the elite monster who killed the overlord of the iron boxing?" Bifong looked me up and down, and a sneer appeared on the corner of his mouth. "My man can't come to teach you. Today, our hidden mission is about to be settled. You'd better know each other, hand over the mission, and sweep away." After I heard it, I almost laughed out loud. "Teach the mission? What, do you want to be frustrated? Just frustrate you with a lot of people? Or do you think you have a big face?" Bayu's face darkened, and he obviously didn't expect me to be so hard. "Boy, your mouth is quite hard. Do you know who is the one who covers our heavenly blade? If you don't swell, don't blame me for letting you go back to the Novice village to resurrect your life. No matter how awesome the one who protects you is, what does it have to do with me?" I said with a slight look and pointed at the Black Wind Wolf King. "I've beaten this boss halfway, and my blood bar is almost over. Are you here to get a bargain? Make a dream? Looking for death?" Bifong gritted his teeth and said, "Brothers, give it to me and wipe out this kid first. We will kill the boss ourselves." The team member Lima behind him rushed forward. The warriors, wizards and archers cooperated very well and smashed their skills directly at me. I sneered, and the pressure was not clear, and the shadow killing was turned on. I evaded the fireball technique and came behind Archer, and the dagger was swung. Breaking, -410. The archer fell directly to the ground, and he didn't even hum. The warrior next to him saw me with a shield and wanted to give me a head. I didn't force myself to him. I was flickering my body and surrounded him to the side. In conjunction with the biting of the Nether Wolf King, I pushed the man down in 2 strokes. "Both, what's the situation with this guy's skills? Teleportation and violence, who can hold it?" A wizard under Bayou was panicked, and he released an ice sieve from his staff, trying to control me. A little trick to carve a sensation. I snorted coldly, teleported and dodged directly, and the next second appeared behind him. The dagger slashed his neck, and the blood strip was cleared. In less than 3 minutes, all the splendid teams brought by Burke lay down, and the ground was covered with the copper coins and medicine they had dropped. I clapped my hands, turned my head and looked at Baisu, and said lightly, "That's all? The elite of the Blade of Heaven, I'm not so hot." Bayu's face was blue, and his hands holding Chang Jian were shaking, and he was obviously very angry. "Yiren, you have a kind of mother. This beam has been blocked. Wait, I'll kill you long ago. I'll be with you anytime." I curled my lips, and the pressure didn't take him seriously. I turned around and continued to deal with the Black Wind Wolf Emperor. I just beaten this boss to the point where only a piece of blood was left. When I saw me come back, I made the last roar, and I wanted to fight to the death. I teleported and dodged, and the Nether Wolf King took the opportunity to bite its neck, and I put on the last knife. Breaking, -450. Ding! Congratulations to the player Nightblade for killing the boss Black Wind Wolf King, completing the hidden mission Crisis of the Back Mountain Sacrifice, and won the Experience Value Award, and upgraded to level 8. Get the rare equipment Black Wind Dagger. I looked at the system prompts that I couldn't hold my mouth. I opened my backpack with a stubborn look and saw that the black-style dagger was dark all over. The attack power was 3 times higher than that of the Novice dagger. It also brought a passive effect. Each attack has a 10% chance of touching the bleeding effect, and it continued to reduce blood for 5 seconds. Bored, this weapon is awesome. I changed directly, feeling the ice slumber touch transmitted in my hand, and the fighting force increased a lot. Baiyu stood far away, watching me squeezing the equipment. His eyes almost burst out, but his subordinates were all hanging. He didn't dare to move, so he could only grit his teeth and say, "Yeah, Blade, I remember this account today. The Blade of Heaven has long made you kneel down and beg for a favor." Kneel down and beg for a favor? I turned to look at him and grinned. Then you have to have this ability first. Don't just talk ruthlessly, go back and practice more. Don't bring people to the head and let them go, and you can't see them. You! Baiyu was so angry that his face was green, but he couldn't resist. He glared at me fiercely, turned around and left, and before leaving, he said, "Wait, this is not over." I looked at his back and it was not true. Such people are so clamoring, but they are actually not capable of anything. They will attract more people to find fault, but with the shadow killing and the Nether Wolf King in hand, I am not afraid of it. After packing up the battle spoils, I was ready to go back to the village to hand in the mission. As a result, I walked out of the back mountain and a group of players surrounded me, with curiosity and admiration in my eyes. "Bogan, Master Yi Blade, you just picked the help of the Sky Blade, it's really amazing." "Yes, what's wrong with that teleportation skill? And your pet is simply changing. Teach us how to do it." The Blade of Heaven is usually domineering, and there are always people who have been punished, Brother Yi Blade, Nyo Pai. I was a little embarrassed by this touting, and I said, low tuning, they just gave it to the door themselves, and I just solved it. Also, my skills and pets are purely dependent on their own, and I can't teach you." After saying that, I pulled out of the crowd and walked towards the village. The discussions behind me are getting bigger and bigger, and all the names of the first person in the Novice village and the Star of the Sword of the Sky have been hit on me. I felt secretly happy. The more I spread this reputation, the better. In the future, I will be stuck in games. Who dares to mess with me? When I returned to the village, the old village chief saw me back. Lima came up and was grateful to him. "Young man, you did not disappoint me." The threat from the back mountain was lifted, and the village was finally able to rest. "This is your reward." Ding! Mission bonuses are replenished, and you will get an additional gold coins of 100, and you will be welcomed plus 50. I looked at the extra gold coins in my backpack, and I thought this thing was very useful in the later stages, and it was not bad to be produced now. Just as I was about to take on several tasks, the phone's prompt sound suddenly hit, and the game helmet automatically brought the communication function to directly pop out Xintian's voice. "Kairui, did you just fuck all the people who heard you just fucked the Skyblade in the Novice village? Is it true or false?" Xiantian's voice was full of surprise, and she was also excited. It's all small things." I replied with a smile, "Then I'll teach you how to help others find fault with me." "Why, have you entered the game too?" "I've entered. I'm in another Novice village and I'm just leveling up to level 5, and I'm preparing to form a team to get a mission." "How are you doing now?" "I heard that you've also taken on a hidden mission. What's the reward?" Xintian broke through a series of questions. "The reward is okay. I took a rare dagger and my combat power has increased a little." I said briefly, and then said, "You practice first. After 2 days, I will find you to get along with me. Let's do big things together." "Okay. Then be careful, the help of the Blade of Heaven is not a good person. I heard that Baiyu has already spoken in the guild channel and wants to connect you with the entire server." Xintian reminded. "Tongji me?" I sneered, "Go with him, come and kill one, come and kill one, come and kill one. When I leave the Novice village, see who to Tongji." After closing the communication, I looked at the sky outside the village, and a struggle ignited in my heart. It was a long time since I met again. By then, I was not just a simple face. The world of games is so big, the Novice village is just the starting point, and more challenges and secrets are waiting for me. I held the black dagger in my hand tightly, took the Nether Wolf King, and walked towards the next task point. When I closed Xintian's voice communication, I looked at the stretched forest outside Huetu village, and felt a little excited. Although the mission in the novice village is very good, I always feel that it is still a bit meaningful. Just now, Xintian said that she was in another novice village and was not too far away from me, so the map display was only separated by 2 areas. I thought about it, just get along with her earlier and do some big moves together, which is more exciting than me alone. Ding! New message reminder. The system prompt sound suddenly started. I opened it and found that it was the coordinates posted by Xintian, with a sentence, Kairui, I have a hidden copy here. I heard that the reward is very fragrant, but one person can't fight. You come over quickly, let's try together. Hidden copy? My eyes lit up. This thing is much more interesting than a single purity task. The prizes are mostly rare equipment or special props. I replied, wait, I'll arrive right away. Then I opened the map and turned towards her position. Xintian's novice village is called Qinghe Village. The map shows that you want to pass through a dark swamp. The level of this place is higher than that of the Gray Soil Village. The average level of monsters is between 8 and 10, and it also has a toxic fog effect. Ordinary players can basically go there without going back. But I am currently at level 8, and I have a black dagger and the Nether Wolf King in my hand, so there is little problem with it. Along the way, the poisonous snakes and mud monsters in the swamp suddenly appeared to find fault. I was not sure about it, and I teleported in a shadow killing and killed it in seconds. In conjunction with the biting of the Nether Wolf King, I didn't lose much blood. Half an hour later, I finally saw the silhouette of Qinghe Village. At the entrance of the village, there was a player wearing a white robe, holding a staff in his hand, and the ID showed Sweet Core, which was Xintian. Yuan, Kairui, you are quite fast. As soon as Xintian saw me, Lima came to me with a smile, and his voice was still so familiar. The image in the game is a long-haired, with big eyes and pretty eyes, which is no different from the real love-loving childhood sweetheart. Right, can you not be quick? As soon as the hidden copy is spoken, can I drag it? I grinned and looked at her up and down. You are only level 5, and your equipment is average. How dare you think about making a copy? Are you not afraid of giving it to someone? Xintian curled his lips and hummed, isn't you there? Besides, I'm the holy light pastor in my career, add blood and buff, and cooperate with your output, we will definitely pass it. The copy cable was drawn from the NPC's mouth when I was just doing the task. The location is at the ghost ruins behind the village. It said that there is a big boss hidden inside, and the prize may be unique to the entire server. All servers are unique? I felt aroused when I heard this. This level of award in the game is basically tied to hidden plots, and it is said that you may be able to dig out the secrets of the point system. Okay, stop mobbing, let's take the road, let's just do it. Xintian pointed at the head, Lima led the way, and walked to chat with me. Yes, did you say you offended the Blade of Heaven? They will be spreading your ID now, saying that if you want to chase you all, you have to be careful. Chasing me? I sneered, not caring, if they go, I will kill as much as they come. Just practice them to avoid boredom. Xintian shook his head helplessly, just blow it. I really meet most teams, it depends on what you do. I didn't answer, but I had my own calculations in my heart. That guy, Bosu, was so fierce, but if you really wanted to face it, you might not be able to do anything to me. I have the skill of shadow instant killing. I can attack and retreat or run when I advance. With Xintian's help, the ordinary team's pressure route is not the opponent. Soon, we arrived at the entrance to the ghost ruins. It was like a person watching this place. The broken stone wall was covered with vines, and the surroundings were covered with black fogs. You could hear the sound of ghosts crying and wolf howling, as if there was a ghost swaying inside. There is a stone tablet at the entrance with a line of small words engraved on it, the ruins of the ghosts, the land of the dead, do not enter the living. Ding! Are you entering the hidden dungeon ghost ruins? Difficulty, difficult, recommended level, level 10 or above, recommended number of people, more than 5. More than 5 people, level 10? Xintian looked at the prompt, a little hesitant. Kairui, we are only 2 people, and we are not at the same level. Why don't we go back to the village and organize a few people before coming? Team? Can that prize still be driven to us? I held my hands directly, full of confidence. Don't worry, with me here, the 2 people will be connected as soon as possible. Besides, the system's suggestion is a suggestion, not a rigid requirement, just do it. Xintian was stunned by my words, and finally gritted her teeth. Okay, I'll hear you. But I've said that, I've really turned around, you have to carry a car. Car? It doesn't exist. I laughed, clicked directly to confirm, and took her into the entrance to the copy. A black fog was covered, and the scene in front of us changed in an instant. We appeared in a vast ruin, with broken bones and gravel on the ground, and there was a rotten smell in the air. There are several ghost monsters far away in the game. The ID shows Resentment Defender, level 10, and the Blood Bar and attack power are obviously higher than the wild monsters on the outside. Be careful, these monsters have group attack skills, don't be trapped. Xintian reminded me, and with a blow of the staff, I added a sanctuary shield to absorb some of the damage. I clicked the head, took the Nether Wolf King directly up, opened the shadow instant killing, and flashed my body and stabbed the dagger hard. Breaking, -480. The resentful spirits made a harsh scream, and most of the blood was lost, but it didn't slap it directly. It turned around and slapped it with a claw, bringing cold air. I didn't take it in a head-on way, and I flashed my body again, avoided the attack, cooperated with the death bite of the Nether Wolf King, and solved it in 2 attempts. It's okay, it's not as difficult as I imagined. I lifted the copper coins that fell from the ground and said to Xintian, touch me, don't drop the order, and separate the blood and buffs, let's push it quickly. The core tranquil points the head and the staff is swept, giving me an agility blessing and the movement speed is slightly smaller. With her help, my efficiency in fighting monsters was doubled, teleported, and violent. In conjunction with the group injuries of the Nether Wolf King, the monsters in the ruins were no match for them at all. A large area was cleared in just a few minutes. Just as we were about to enter the deepest part of the ruins, a noisy sound of footsteps suddenly came from behind, accompanied by a familiar and whispering voice. Yuan, Yi Bian, I didn't expect you to really dare to enter this copy, you're so stupid. I turned around and saw a large group of people standing at the entrance, with 20 or 30 numbers, wearing a unified guild uniform, and the ID was marked with the Blade of Heaven. The head of the house was by you. He sneered and held a long drama with blue light in his hand. The installation was a little stronger than when he saw it last time. There were several high-level 10 or above high-level games behind him, and he was very energetic. Bye? I narrowed my eyes and my heart sank. How did this guy come to me? 80 mostly, I heard the sound of hiding the copy and specially brought someone to block me. Xintian's face also changed and she said in a low voice, Kairui, this is not good for helping others. We have few people. I'm afraid it's not possible to be tough. Why don't you withdraw first? Retreat? What to withdraw? I sneered, and I didn't plan to run away. What if they have too many people? Is it a knife to give someone? Besides, I am determined to win the first prize of this copy, and I can't even hold it. When you heard me, his face became darker and gritted his teeth and said, Yeah Blade, I let you go last time. This time I brought the main force of the guild, with 30 people, you only have 2 of them. Let's see how you are so upset. Brothers, give me a gift and wipe out this kid. The first copy of the dungeon is about to kill us, the Blade of Heaven. As the voice fell, Wu Lima, the team behind him, started to move. The warriors were in the front row, and the wizard and the archer put their skills in the back. For a while, fireballs, ice arrows and arrows hit us, and they cooperated very well. Both trough, this kind of force is a bit big. Xintian was startled and quickly added a shield to me, and then wiped out a holy light healing, filling my blood. What are you afraid of? There are so many people, so there are so many targets. I gritted my teeth and opened the shadow instant killing. With a flash of figure, I directly cut into the back row of them, aiming directly at the few wizards. As soon as the dagger was swept, the bloody effect of the Blackstone dagger was exposed, and a magician's blood slap fell wildly. In conjunction with the biting of the Netherworld Wolf King, it was instantly instant. Breaking, -500. Bored, this guy is teleported over, stop. The archer in the back row panicked and hurriedly pulled the bow and shot the arrow, but my speed was too fast. After the teleportation was cooled, he flashed to another wizard and solved it with 2 swords. Xintian, add buff to me, don't stop. I shouted, continued to shuttle through the crowd, and took the initiative to start with the brittle ones. Xintian reacted quickly, and his staff was swept away, giving me a power blessing, and his attack power increased slightly, making it easier to kill. But there were so many people on the other side. After I killed 5 or 6, the warriors in the front row finally surrounded me. The shield was on the top and forced me to stop being hit. The skills in the back row began to smash again, forcing me to teleport and dodge, and the blood bar began to fall. Kairui, be careful, don't be too tough. Xintian became anxious and wiped out another treatment. At the same time, he added a shield to himself to prevent being killed by the other archer. Yiren, you can't escape. Brothers, please kill him and don't let him teleport. Baiyu pointed at the back, his voice full of pride. He got on himself, and he swung the long sword in his hand and slashed at me with his sword's energy, with his attack power not low. Boom me? Make a dream. I snorted coldly, teleported in cold, and directly flashed behind Baiyu, stabbed the dagger hard. Breaking, -520. Most of the blood strips fell off. As soon as his face changed, he quickly retreated and shouted, "Protect me, hurry!" Several of his soldiers, Lima, rushed over to protect them, but I didn't plan to chase them, so I turned around and cut into the back row, and continued to be crispy in seconds. Xintian's blood-added followers were very timely, which made me hold on to the other party's concentration of fire, and the killing became more and more difficult. Bogan, is this guy a monster? Why can't he be killed? The man from the Sky Blade began to panic and his team became in trouble. Don't panic, continue to gather fire, his blood will be almost gone. Baifeng shouted, gritted his teeth, but the sound was no longer as good as he had just finished. I saw that my blood was still 1/3, and I sneered in my heart, see it? I haven't used any big move. I looked at the time and teleported to the last few wizards of their last wizards. In conjunction with the injury of the Netherwolf King, the ground was filled with the medicine and copper coins they dropped. In less than 10 minutes, the team of 30 people was killed by me, and less than 10 were left. Baiyu's face was blue, and his hands were shaking as he held the long sword. Yebian, you really have a mother. But this copy is killed for the first time, we won't give you. If you don't want it, it's not your decision. I sneered, turned around and shouted to Xintian, let's go deeper and throw this helping waste. Xintian pointed his head, Lima followed me, and the two rushed towards the depths of the ruins. Baiyu wanted to chase the rest of the people, but their condition was too bad and they couldn't catch up with them. He could only watch as we disappeared into the black fog. When we arrived at the depths of the ruins, a huge skull priest was reflected in our eyes. A boss in a black robe stood in the center. The ID showed Ghost Priest, level 12, the blood was thick enough to hide, and there was also a black staff in my hand, which seemed to be difficult to mess with. Ding! I found the final boss of the dungeon, and you will get the first killing prize after being killed. Is it a challenge? Is this the final boss? Xintian swallowed, a little tight. Kairui, our condition is not very good, why don't we get back the blood first and then get the shot? What blood is coming back? While Baiyu is helping others, you can fight quickly. I directly clicked and rushed forward with the Netherworld Wolf King, opened the shadow instant killing. I flashed behind the boss and stabbed the dagger hard. Breaking, -480. The Ghost Priest lost a small piece of blood, and let out a low roar. With a blow of his staff, several small skeleton soldiers emerged from the ground and came towards us. At the same time, a black fog was covering my shell, and the blood began to slowly drop. The system prompted, the poisoning state is 2% of the blood loss per second. Bone, this boss has a poisonous fog skill. I gritted my teeth, and then teleported and dodged, and turned my head and shouted to Xintian, add blood, detoxify, hurry. Xintian reacted quickly, and slapped the staff, and wiped out the purification technique, which relieved my poisoning state, and replenished the treatment, pulling the blood back halfway. I continued to beat the boss, and I took the initiative to fight back. In conjunction with the Netherworld Wolf King's biting, I forced the boss's bloodline to lower the boss's bloodline. But this guy has too many skills, including poisonous fog, summoning monsters, and scope AoE, which forces me to keep avoiding it. The blood slabs are rising and falling, and Xintian's blue volume is almost at his best. Kairui, I'm not much blue anymore. At most, you have to fight and fight quickly. Xintian was sweating profusely. Okay, fight. I gritted my teeth, looked at the time when the boss's blood bar dropped to 1/3, teleported behind it, and continued to attack with the bloodshed effect of the Blackstone dagger, and forced the blood bar to a single piece. Go to die. I yelled and stabbed with the last knife. Breaking, -510. Ding! Congratulations to the player Nightblade and Sweetcore for completing the first kill of the Hidden Dungeon Ghost Ruins, and won the announcement award for the entire server, the rare equipment Ghost Ring, the special prop Mysterious Scroll. The experience value has been greatly improved, the Nightblade has been upgraded to level 10, and the Sweetcore has been upgraded to level 8. As soon as the system announcement came out, the entire server channel Lima exploded. Bone Groove, the first kill of the Hidden Dungeon? Yi Bien is this guy again, Nyo Pai. The Ghost Ruins said it was extremely difficult, but did 2 people understand? I looked at the announcement and felt happy. I clicked on the backpack and saw that the Ring of Spirit added attack power and violent rate, which was perfect for me, so I changed it directly. And that mysterious scroll describes it: record the deep secrets of the realm of nothing and requires specific conditions to be unlocked. Deep secret? I felt that 80% of this thing had to do with the hidden plot of the game, and it might be a thread to the world-class Demon King. I was about to look at it carefully, and suddenly came from behind and roared by Fu, Yiren, your mother is killing me again. I have nothing to do with you. I turned around and saw that Baiyu chased after him with the remaining few people, his face as dark as the bottom, and he obviously exploded. It's not finished? Then come and give it. I sneered, and just rose to level 10, and my combat power increased again, and my pressure was not bad. However, I suggest you go back to the village to train first, and don't give it to others, and you can't afford to lose this person. You! Bai Feng was so angry that he couldn't speak. He glared at me fiercely, turned around and left, and before leaving, he also said, Yiren, I have remembered this hatred. Wait. One day I want you to kneel down and beg for a favor. Please? Let's talk about it when you have this ability. I curled my lips, and the pressure was not serious. Xintian relaxed her breath and wiped her sweat and said, Kairui, your mouth is so amazing. But this time it was so cool. I got the first prize and beat the Blade of Heaven to search for teeth. It's worth it. That's wherever you go. I smiled and patted her shoulder. With this mysterious scroll in my hand, there are bigger things waiting for us behind. Let's go back to the village and prepare for a bigger challenge. Xintian pointed his head, and the 2 of them walked shoulder to shoulder towards the exit of the copy. Behind me, the dark fog from the spiritual ruins gradually dissipated, but I knew in my heart that the tip of the iceberg had just been revealed. Whether it is Bori's hatred or the threads in the dungeon are scattered, they are just the beginning. The real legend is still waiting for me to create. I held the black dagger tightly in my hand, looked at the mysterious scroll in my backpack, and my mouth slightly slapped, and I opened my feet. After coming out of the Ghost Ruins, Xintian and I returned to Qinghe village and simply made up the equipment and status. The mysterious scroll in my backpack has always made me feel heart-wrenching. The description is recording the deep secrets of the realm of nothing on it. I always feel that this thing cannot be related to the core plot of the game, and may even point to the world-class Demon King. I decided not to waste time, and I immediately studied it to see if I could dig out some useful traces. Kairui, do you really want to get this roll now? We just finished the copy and the condition is not full. What kind of dangerous tasks will we do when we touch it? Xintian sat on a broken wooden bench in the village, holding a bottle of blue medicine in his hand, drinking and asking, and there was a little concern in his eyes. What are you afraid of? How can you get a tiger's son if you don't enter the tiger's den? I grinned and said indifferently, besides, we can cooperate with this, and with the Nether Wolf King in hand, what danger can't be handled? This scroll is probably a big rope, and it's easy to be taken first by others when dragging it. Xintian shook helplessly, okay, right. But I'll say that, if you really have something to do, you have to be ahead. I don't want to get out of here. Don't worry, you won't be able to fall off even if you lose it. I laughed, clicked on my backpack and chose to use the mysterious roller. A golden light flashed, and the scroll spread out in front of me, and a bunch of ancient runes appeared on it. I couldn't understand what it meant, but then the system prompted the sound. Ding! Congratulations to the players Nightblade for hiding the mainline mission The Rift of the Demon King's Seal. Mission goal: go to the Dark Rift Valley and find the sealed land of the Demon Kings, Lord of Deep Purity in the world, and explore its secrets. Mission difficulty: Level 1, recommended level, Level 20 or above, number of recommended people, more than 10. Awards: Unknown God level props, failure penalty, Level 3 down, permanent deduction of 10% attribute. Trouble: ground rank mission? World Demon King? My eyes lit up and my heart beat faster. This mission is obviously not a small fight, but directly tied with the biggest boss in the game, the prize or the magical prop, which is absolutely intoxicating. Although it is recommended that grade and number of people are far above our current level, I have no intention of regressing the pressure. Xintian heard the prompt and her face changed. Kairui, is this task too awesome? We are only at level 18, and we are still far away from level 20. The ground level is difficult. After a car, we will lose level 3 and deduct attributes. This generation of prices is quite high. The price is big, and the revenue is big. I patted my chest and felt full of confidence. The system suggests is a suggestion, not a force. If we add the Nether Wolf King, our combat power is no worse than that of 10 people. I just saw the Dark Rift Valley on the map. I left this far, walked through the dark swamp and walked 2 areas, and then arrived. We fought quickly and ran away after getting the prize. Xintian was stunned by my words, and finally gritted her teeth. Okay, I'll be crazy with you. Don't worry, wrap it on me. I smiled and then took her straight to the Dark Rift. The map shows that this place is the junction between the Novice area and the Intermediate area, belonging to a high-risk area. Ordinary players dare not approach it at all. The monsters are generally between 15 and 20, and there are various hidden traps and debuff effects. But I have the skill of shadow instant killing, and I can move forward and retreat freely. With Xintian's blood increase and buff, there is not much problem. Along the way, the monsters in the forest kept popping up to find fault. The poisonous spider, the giant swamp, and even the shadow leopard that could hide. One had a strong attack power and its skills also had control effects. By teleportation and blasting, I cooperated with the Nether Wolf King's biting, and forced a blood path. Xintian added blood and buff to the back, barely calming down. 2 hours later, we finally reached the entrance to the Dark Rift. It looks evil here. The entrance is a huge black crack, like a shell torn by some huge force. The rock walls on both sides are full of strange runes. Black fogs appear at the depth of the crack. A suppressed breath is everywhere in the air. The system even prompts, warning. Entering the high-risk area's Dark Rift, the player will be reduced by Dark Invasion, and the movement speed is reduced by 10%, and 1% of his health is deducted per minute. This debuff is a bit cruel. Xintian snatched his eyebrows, and with a swing of his staff, he added a sanctuary shield to us, which barely offset some of the blood-drawing effect. Kairui, we have to save a little bit of blue and blood, and the monsters in it will definitely be more difficult to fight. It's okay, just push it quickly. I clicked the head, held the blackstone dagger, and stepped into the crack with the Nether Wolf King. The light inside was so dark that it was almost impossible to see the road. The ground was covered with sharp gravel, and you could hear a low roar from afar, like a giant monster wandering. I opened the map and the mission tag pointed to a building that was sacrificially like a deep rift, which was probably the sealed place. After walking for a few steps, several black shadows suddenly appeared from the fog. The ID showed Dark Rotten Wolf, level 16, and its body shape was a circle larger than that of the Nether Wolf King. Its claws were green, and it was poisonous at first glance. I didn't say anything, but I opened the shadow instant killing, and my figure flashed behind a rotten wolf, and stabbed the dagger hard. Breaking, -520. Most of the blood strips of the rotten wolf were lost, but they didn't slap them directly. They turned around and slapped them with one claw. With poisonous gas, my blood strips instantly dropped 15% and I was also poisoned and I was deducted blood every second. I gritted my teeth, teleported and dodged, and cooperated with the death bite of the Nether Wolf King, and solved it in 2 ways. Xintian hurriedly gave me a purification technique to relieve the toxicity and replenish the treatment. This monster has such a high attack power and is poisonous, so we have to be careful. Xintian reminded, the sound was a bit tight. Don't worry, slowly rub it, there's no big problem. I responded and continued to push forward. There are more and more monsters in the Rift Valley. In addition to the Rotten Wolf, there are also Shadow Assassin who can hide himself and Dark Witcher who can surround AoE, forcing me to teleport and avoid skills. The blood slabs are rising and falling, and Xintian's blue volume is also consumed quickly. After half an hour of fighting, we finally arrived at the fortress of the mission mark. This sacrificial priest looks like it, all in black, with a huge stone platform in the center, with a circle of blood-red runes engraved on it, and black gas emerged. There were several monsters in black robes standing around the sacrificial supreme. The ID showed Seal Guardian and level 20. The blood was thick, and there was a giant knife in his hand, which was difficult to mess with at first glance. Ding! Is it challenging to detect the sealed land of the Lord of Deep Purity, killing all seal guards to reach the next stage of the mission? Is this the sealed place? I moved my heart and turned to Xintian. I'm ready, let's go together and fight quickly. Xiantian pointed his head and gave me a buff and shield. He slapped the staff and wiped out the wrath of the holy light, which attracted one of the guardian hatred. I opened the shadow killing with a flash behind it, and the dagger stabbed, and with the biting of the Nether Wolf King, it forced its blood strip down. But this guy was too high in defense, and my violent injuries were cut a lot. Xintian's blood increase was even more difficult to keep up, and the battle dragged on for a while. Just as we finally managed to get rid of our first guard, a rapid sound of footsteps suddenly came from far away, accompanied by a familiar and whispering voice. Yebian, it's you. Let's see where you run this time. I turned around and saw a large group of people rushing into the entrance of the Rift Valley, with 50 or 60, wearing uniforms of different guilds, but the leader was Burke, with a sneer on his face, a blue light in his hand, and a few high-level 20-level high-quality plays followed behind him. His atmosphere was more than twice as strong as before when he was in the Ghost Ruins. Bye? My heart sank. I didn't expect that this guy would come so soon, and he brought so many people. Judging from their equipment and grades, it seems that they are not Tianchi Blade family. 80 mostly they have joined other guilds to block me. Xintian's face also changed and she said in a low voice, Kairui, if we help others, we are not in a good state, so we will definitely not be able to do it. Why don't we withdraw first? Retreat? Can't retreat. I gritted my teeth and looked at the terrain around the sacrificial forum. It was easy to get out of the Rift Valley. The back road was basically blocked, and if I ran hard, I would only be caught up with the group. The only way is to solve this problem first, and to touch the next stage of the task, and it may be possible to have a turnaround. Baiyu slowly approached with the man, and still mocked her mouth. Yiren, I heard that you have taken the hidden mainline mission. The chastity is really a big deal. Unfortunately, this mission award is not something you can eat. several of our great lords will join forces. Today is your death date. Brothers, give it to me, kill this kid, and the mission award will be divided equally. As the voice fell, 50 or 60 people started to move. The warriors were in the front row, and the wizards and archers placed their skills behind them. Fireballs, ice arrows, and arrows were smashing towards us. Several assassin players were approaching and ready to steal. I felt a huge pressure in an instant, and the blood bar fell wildly under the dark invasion debuff and the other party's concentrated fire, and Xintian's blood increase could hardly keep up. Collection, this helps people really. I gritted my teeth and opened the shadow instant killing. I cut into the back row of the opponent, and I took the brutal start, and the dagger stabbed, and 2 wizards were instantly killed. But the warrior in the front row came up with a shield, and the shield was on the top, and the back row skills began to smash again, forcing me to teleport and dodge. Kairui, I'm almost gone for blue. At most, you have to think of a way. Xintian was so anxious that he was sweating heavily. He slapped his staff and reluctantly replenished a shield for me. His blood strip was left by the archer. Yiren, you can't escape. Not only will you kill you today, but you will also kill your broken wolf together. Baiyu sneered behind him, and the long sword swung up with a few high-level plays. With the attack power, he cut off 1/3 of my blood in one sword. Boke, I'm fighting with you. As my condition became worse and worse, I felt relieved and prepared to stumble in front of Baiyu. I opened it and stabbed it hard, and the dagger stabbed it hard. Breaking, -550. Baiyu lost most of his blood strips, and his face changed. He quickly retreated and shouted, "Protect me, hurry!" Several of his soldiers, Lima, rushed over to protect them, but I was also hit by other people's skills. The blood strips were instantly seen and almost dropped. At this moment, the Nether Wolf King suddenly let out a low growl, and a black fog appeared in his body. The blue light in his eyes became even more dazzling. The system prompt sound suddenly sounded, ding. I detected that the player's Night Blade was in an absolute state. The Nether Wolf King's hidden ability was activated, and his attack power was increased by 200%, speed was increased by 100%, lasting for 30 seconds, and the cold time was 24 hours. Hide abilities? My eyes lit up, and Lima ordered, "Wolf King, tear them off for me." The Nether Wolf King roared and turned into a black shadow and rushed into the crowd. His claws were swept into blood. After the attack force exploded, the warriors could not withstand the shields. Several front rows were directly caught in seconds, and the mages and archers in the back row were even more unbearable. The blood strips were cleared so quickly that they could not bear it. In 30 seconds, nearly 30 people from the other side were cleared, and the scene was so bloody. Bog, what's wrong with this wolf? Why is the attack power suddenly so high? Bofeng's men were all panicked, and the team was in a mess in an instant. Don't panic, continue to gather fire. The wolf's skill has time limit, just sweep it over. Baifeng shouted, gritted his teeth, but the sound was no longer in his heart. He himself retreated to the back row, and he obviously didn't dare to go forward again. I took advantage of the last few seconds of the Netherworld Wolf King's madness and teleported behind Baiyu and then took another stab. Breaking, -530. Baiyu's blood strips were cleared directly, his eyes wide open, his face full of disbelief. You mother. Before he finished speaking, he fell to the ground and a pile of medicine and copper coins burst out. Bai, why don't you hear me? I sneered, lifted the spoils on the ground, and turned to look at the remaining people. They all saw that Baiyu was shut up, and the military atmosphere collapsed in an instant. Several high-gain games were still trying to fight back, but although the Nether Wolf King's crazy transformation ended, his combat power was still strong. In line with my instant killing, he forced more than 10 more. Both, is this guy a monster? We can't beat him, withdraw. The remaining people finally couldn't stand it, so they turned around and ran away, leaving only a ground and dropped equipment on the field. I gasped, and saw that there was only one piece of blood left. Xintian was not much better. The amount of blue was already empty, so I could hardly bear it with the last bottle of medicine. Xiantian gave me a blank look and said in a bad mood, "I'm so lucky, I almost threw it away. But you, the Wolf King, are too powerful. Once you open your hidden power, you will be killing gods." The weather is good." I smiled and turned to look at the fort. The battle just now brought the hatred of Sealshoe, and several guards came to us, but their blood was also worn out a lot during the battle. Xintian and I gritted our teeth and cooperated to solve the last few. Ding! Congratulations to the player Nightblade and Sweet Core for completing the mission stage 1, killing all seal guards, touching the next mission line, and obtaining the key prop Demon King seal fragment. I looked at the black fragments that appeared in my backpack, and described it, the sealed core fragment of the Lord of Deep Purity, which can be used to solve the final challenge in 3 blocks. When I felt like I was moved, this thing was definitely the key to the world's Devil King. Kairui, our condition is too bad. The people behind may come back. Why not retreat first and go back and say it all? Xintian suggested. Okay, I'll hear you. I pointed, the situation was really not good, and the risk was too great if I kept going. So the people supported each other and walked towards the outside of the Rift Valley. Behind me, the black air of the sacrificial priest seemed to be even more intense, and there was a low growl coming, but I knew that the Real challenge was still at the back. I have to calculate this account for Bayou, but now, I hold the fragments of the Demon King's seal in my hand and am one step closer to the entire server. I held the fastened dagger, looked at the sky far away, and my mouth slightly slapped, and I opened my feet. Coming from the dark rift, Xintian and I were so different that we had almost the best blood and blueness, and we had to support each other when we walked. Fortunately, the Demon King's seal fragments in my backpack made a fire burn in my heart. This thing is the key line to the Demon King of the world. You can solve the final challenge by collecting 3 blocks. Although I only got the first block at the moment, this is a unique progress for the entire server, which is worth it. When we returned to Qinghe village, we first found a safe point to recover blood and blue, and then sorted out the equipment and medicine that had been exposed before. Xintian sat on the broken wooden bench next to him, drinking blue medicine, and still holding a little bit on her face, and was afraid. Kairui, I was really in the Rift Valley just now, I almost slacked off. I guess that guy Bai is so swept by you. I guess he won't be good at slacking, and I will definitely have to find fault in the future. Look for trouble? Come and give me a break. I sneered and said indifferently, I will kill many people he brought. I will teach you once and see when he will be good at it. This time, we have to seize the fragments of the Demon King's seal, and we have to seize the time to find the remaining 2 pieces, and then head straight to the Demon King of the world. No one can stop it. Xiantian pointed at the head, but he was still a little worried. That's the case, but the ground-level mission is not something you can play. If we add the Nether Wolf King, we can be very capable of fighting. But when we really get to the test site or the final boss, we must form a team. Otherwise, there will be no shortage of people, and we will give it to you. Set up? I touched my chin, thinking that she made sense. Although I have shadow instant killing and a magic pet, Xintian's help is not bad, but the system recommends that the number of people is more than 10, and the difficulty of the ground level is no joke. We alone are really too risky. Okay, then we will recruit a few people who rely on the opportunity to form a team to specialize in the Demon King's mission. Just say it. I directly posted a recruitment message on the full server channel. Yeblade recruits teammates, challenge the world's Demon King's test site, and requires level 15 or above. The battle is too strong, dare to fight and fight, don't fight. Come to Qinghe village if you intend to find me, come quickly. As soon as the news came out, the channel Lima exploded. Boat, Yeblade is doing big moves again? The World Demon King tried to test the cultivator. What is this task? You can criticize it if you hear it. Isn't Yeblade the ruthless man who single-handedly picks the sword of the sky? I'll sign up with him. Level 15 or above? I'm at level 16, a warrior, a tough guy, the Nightblade boss will take me to fly. In less than half an hour, a large group of players were surrounded by the entrance of Qinghe village, with 40 or 50 people, ranging from level 15 to level 20. They have a variety of careers, including warriors, wizards, archers, and even a few pastors and assassins. It can be seen that there are single players and small teams among these people, all of whom are under my name and the mission of the Demon King of the world, and their eyes are full of expectations. I stood at the entrance of the village, glanced at them, and said loudly, "Brothers, thank you for supporting the scene. But my team does not nourish waste and challenge the devil to try it out. They may lose their rank or even lose their attributes at any time. Those who are afraid of death will leave now, don't waste everyone's time. Those who stay here have to be too strong in their battles, listen to the point, fight and resist, let's do big things together." As the voice fell, a few faces changed in the crowd, muttering, "There is too much risk," and then left. There were 30 people left, but none of them retreated. He shouted, "Bossy Blade, take us flying, I'm sure you're degraded." I slighted the head and smiled satisfied. Then I picked a few players with high level, good equipment and reasonable professional matching. Finally, I ordered 8 people. With Xintian and we're just a team of 10 people. There is a level 18 warrior ID called Zishan. It is full of heavy armor and the large shield in its hand is very hard at first sight, which is suitable for the front row. There is also a level 17 archer Shizer, whose operation is flying, and its distance output is very stable. In addition, several wizards and pastors also have their own characteristics, and their overall combat power is good. "Okay, you're the only ones." I clapped my hands and said to my teammates, "Our goal is very simple. We gather fragments of the Demon King's seal, and enter the test site to win the qualifications of challenging the Demon King in the world. Fighting is indispensable in this process, whether it's a monster or a human, whoever does it do it in a way, do you understand?" "I understand," the teammates responded loudly, with a strong aura. Xintian said in a short voice, "Kairui, this team seems to be good, but for the first time, I definitely don't know how to cooperate. The task in the future is difficult, so we have to get some running first and don't just flip the car." "Don't worry, I have a lot." I smiled and then led the team straight to the next fragmented place marked on the map, Bloody Wasteland. According to the mission line, the second Demon King seal fragment is located deep in that area. The level of guarding monsters is between 20 and 25, and there is also an elite boss with a strong battle, but we 10 people have little problem. Along the way, the team was indeed a little unfamiliar with cooperation. When they encountered a few wild monsters, the warriors were too high, which led to the stolen in the back row, and the wizard's skills were also terrible, and they almost flipped the car. Fortunately, Xintian and I reacted quickly, so I used the shadow instant kill to cut back and save the scene. Xintian added blood and buff to keep the situation stable. After a few changes, everyone finally found a tacit understanding and the progress also increased. As soon as I reached the edge of the blood-colored wasteland, there was a rapid sound of footsteps from afar, accompanied by horse hooves and shouts, and it was not right when I heard it. I narrowed my eyes and looked in the direction of the sound. There were hundreds of people coming towards us, wearing a unified guild uniform, mostly the Blade of Heaven, and there were several other guilds mixed in. The head of the house was Baiyu, wearing a purple outfit, with a cold ray in his hands, and his face was full of sneer, and his atmosphere was stronger than ever before. "Yeah, Blade, I found you." Baiyu opened his mouth far away, his voice full of hatred, "Hearing that you have a broken team, and you still want to challenge the Demon King to try? Make a dream. Today I brought the main force of the entire Guild of the Heavenly Blade, and there are several ally guilds, with a total of 150 people, and you only have 10 people. It depends on how you are so shaking. Bye?" I sneered, and I didn't panic. I turned my head to the teammates, "Brothers, I'm here to live. We'll train this helper to the door. No one can give up, just do it." Zishan raised a big shield and shouted, "Bossy Blade, don't worry, hand it to me in front, please stay on top." The Windwalker also pulled the long bow and said lightly, "Thank you to me in the back row, don't even want to run away." the other teammates responded and the soldiers were filled in an instant. Xintian added a sanctuary shield to me, and said in the short voice, Kairui, there are many people on the other side, so we have to fight quickly. If we delay it for a long time, it will be unfavorable to us. I understand. I clicked, then held the tight black dagger behind me, and shouted, brothers, go up, tear them up. After saying that, I directly opened the shadow instant killing, flashed my body, cut into the back row of the other party, and pointed directly at their wizards and archers. The Nether Wolf King growled, turned into a black shadow and swept into the crowd, and his claws broke open a bloody flower. Breaking, 580. With one knife, a wizard on the other side fell directly to the ground, and there was no chance of reaction. My figure flashed again, and 2 archers were killed in seconds, and the back row was erected into a group. Zishan brought another warrior in front, resisting the attack in the front row of the opponent, and holding the fire of more than 10 people. The Windwalker stood at a high place, with arrows like rain, focusing on the other party's crispy skin, and combined with the back row wizard's AoE skills, instantly clearing out a small monster-level player. Both groove, why is this combat power so high? Only 10, we are so trapped. The man from the Blade of the Sky began to panic, and his team was in a mess. Don't panic, stay calm, kill the Night Blade of the Fire, and you'll win. Bai Feng shouted behind him, and the long sword swung over with several high-level 20 or above, aiming directly at me. Their skills hit me with great force, and the fireballs, ice arrows, and swords made me lose my blood, and Xintian could not keep up with the blood increase. I want to concentrate on fire. To be a dream. I gritted my teeth, teleported and cooled down, and hid in the AoE, and came behind Baiyu, and stabbed the dagger hard. Breaking, 600. Most of the blood strips of Baifu fell off. As soon as his face changed, he quickly retreated and shouted, protect me, hurry. Several warriors came up from the shore, but I didn't chase after me, turned around and cut into the back row, and continued to slim in seconds. The Nether Wolf King's death bite effect was touched, and the opponent's defense was weakened, and my output was even easier. After a few swords, I cleared another piece. Yiren, you have a kind of mother. Bai Feng was so angry that his face was green, but he couldn't help but retreat and lean on his subordinates. I looked at his sarcastic look and sneered, Bai, why don't you give me such many people to wear? The Blade of Heaven is at this level, and it's uncovered. The battle lasted for more than 10 minutes. Although there were many people on the other side, the cooperation was a mess and the military spirit was defeated by us. Our team of 10 people became more and more smooth. The front row was pressed by the Iron Mountain. The Windwalker and the Wizard harvested from a long distance. Xintian added blood and buffs and became a stable group. The Nether Wolf King and I went to the back row and killed the other 150 people to the left, leaving less than 50. You can't get the trough, please withdraw, you'll be long. The man from the Skyblade could not bear it and began to flee in all directions. Baiyu had already left when he saw dashing, and stared at me gritting his teeth and said, Yebian, I have remembered this account. Wait, one day I want you to kneel down and beg for a favor. Kneel down and beg for a favor? Let's talk about it when you have this ability. I sneered, teleported behind him, and finally took a last stab. Breaking, 620. Baiyu's blood strips were cleared, his eyes widened, and when he fell to the ground, a blue decoration burst out. I picked it up and saw that it was a long sword with increased attack power. Although I couldn't use it, I could still exchange a lot of gold coins after I sold it. Ding! Congratulations to the player Nightblade for killing the enemy against the player Bai, and they received additional experience value, and they are expected to be plus 100. As soon as the system prompted, our teammates were very excited. Zishan shouted with a shield, Nei Blade Boss Neo Pai, Tianchi Blade is a big deal, we are the strongest. Feng Xingxia also smiled and said, I have some meat to eat with Yi Blade. This wave is so exciting. Xintian wiped the sweat and relaxed her voice, Kairui, your operation has really changed. 150 people were beaten to death by 10 of us. by you was probably vomiting blood. You can live if you vomit blood. I laughed and patted my teammates on the shoulders. Brothers, you did a pretty job. The blade of heaven has finally fallen into trouble this time, and I will never dare to find fault in the future. Let's continue the mission and take down the second piece. After packing up the battle trophy, we continued to develop deep into the bloody wasteland. With the running in of the team just now, the team cooperated more tacitly. When we encountered a few waves of high-level monsters, the front and back rows of Iron Mountain were output in an orderly manner. I was responsible for cutting in and solving the elite monsters, and I cleared it out without much energy. Half an hour later, we finally arrived at the boss point marked by the mission, a blood-red fortress. There was a huge bull monster standing in the center. The ID showed Bloody Rage Demon and level 25. The blood was thick enough to be far away. There was also a huge axe with a fire in my hand, which was hard to mess with at first sight. Ding! I found that the BOSS Bloody Demon will be detected. After being killed, you will get the second block of the Demon King Seal fragment. Is it a challenge? Brothers, I'm ready. This guy is not simple. Listen to me and don't come. I shouted, and the teammates kept saying that the shield on the Iron Mountain was in front, and Shinkian added a buff. I took the Nether Wolf King to the side of the boss and prepared to steal. As soon as the battle was hit, the blood-angry demon roared, and the giant axe blew up in AoE with a flame. The blood bar in the Iron Mountain flew wildly, almost not standing up. Shinkian quickly added blood, and the back row wizard and the Wind Walker ran out. I opened the shadow instant killing, and my body flashed to the back of the boss. The dagger stabbed, and combined with the bleeding effect of the Black Storm dagger, it suppressed its bloodline. Breaking, -600. The boss lost a small piece of blood, but this guy had too many skills, including flame AoE, sharp, and calling monsters, which forced us to be beaten up several times in a team. Zishan gritted his teeth and shouted, "Bossy Blade, don't worry, I can still resist." The Wind Walker kept arrows, his head was extremely high, and his special boss was weak. The battle dragged for 20 minutes, and our condition became worse and worse. The core Tion's blue volume was almost empty, but I looked at the timing and shouted, "Wolf King, go crazy." The Nether Wolf King roared, and the black fog covered the attack force. The attack force exploded, and the boss's blood cutter was pulled off with a large blood cutter. I took the opportunity to teleport to the back of the boss, and repeatedly stormed the blood strip to a piece of silk. "Go to die!" I yelled and stabbed with the last knife. Breaking, -650. Ding! Congratulations to the player Nightblade and his team for killing the boss Blood Rage Demon and obtained the second block of Demon King Seal fragment. The experience value has been greatly improved, the Nightblade has been upgraded to level 15, and the teammate level has been upgraded to level 1 to 2. As soon as the system prompted, the whole team shouted. Zishan wiped his sweat and grinned, "Bossy Blade, Nyo Pai, this boss has been killed, there is nothing else to do." Shinkian also relaxed his voice, "Kairui, I got the second piece of fragment, but the last piece is missing." I looked at the second piece of fragment in my backpack, and a fighting spirit ignited in my heart. "Brothers, take a break, we will immediately block the third piece of fragment, and then head straight to the test site to challenge the Devil's qualifications, we will settle for it." The teammates are very enthusiastic and have a high spirit. Just as we were about to return to the village to complete the whole server, the system suddenly released an announcement on the whole server, "Ding! Congratulations to the player Nightblade and his team for completing the second stage of the Demon King Seal fragment. They are only one step away from challenging the world's Demon King. Players in the whole server should wait and see." As soon as the announcement came out, the entire server channel exploded again. The trough, the Nightblade is doing another big move. What is the Demon King Seal? It will be so full of excitement when you hear it. Didn't the Sky King Blade say that he wants to use the Nightblade in full server? Why was he beaten up so hard that he even made someone get the mission progress? The Guy Blade is definitely the first person in the server. He has a future when he is involved in mingling with him. I looked at the discussion in the channel and felt secretly happy. Bai and Tianqiu Blade fell into trouble this time, and they were famous and dared not come to find fault in a short period of time. And our team has become the focus of the entire server through this wave of battle and mission progress, and the road ahead will only be getting smoother and smoother. I held the black dagger in my hand tightly, looked at the sky far away, and said to my teammates, "Brothers, we are ready. The test place is waiting for us. The challenge qualifications of the world's Demon King must belong to us." After speaking, I led the team, walked forward and advanced to the next goal. After taking down the second Demon King seal fragment, my teammates and I were so excited that we were full of energy. The battle in the blood-colored wasteland made our team more and more tacit cooperation. The Helper of the Blade of Heaven, carrying 150 people, was beaten to us all, and I was sent back to the resurrection spot by me, and the face was swept to the ground. As soon as the server announcement was released, the name Yeblade finally became the focus of the realm of nothing. Whoever hears it will have to give a thumbs up. However, I know in my heart that this is just the beginning. The 2 pieces of debris in the backpack are flashing with a faint light, and the traces of the third piece have pointed to the testing place at the deepest point of the map. The place is said to be the entrance to the dark and deep purity, and is also the sealed place of the world-class Demon King, Lord of Deep Purity. The system prompts that the mission difficulty is still at the ground level. It is recommended to be above level 30 and above, with more than 20 people, but our team has only 10 people, and the average level is only above level 20, which is extremely risky. Kairui, the place where you try is not a joke. We are not small, and the level is far behind. Why not practice first or add some people? Xintian sat on a broken wooden bench in Qinghe village, drinking blue medicine. Her eyebrows were old and tight, and she was obviously a little worried. Practice? Pulling people? When will you have to wait? I slammed my hand and looked confident. The system's suggestion is a suggestion, not a rigid requirement. We have the Nether Wolf King, my shadow instant killing, and your cooperation. Our combat power is no worse than 20 people. Besides, the entire server is now staring at our progress. If you drag it on, it may be led by others. The third fragment and the Devil's Challenge qualification must be ours. Zishan heard it, put on a big shield and patted his chest, and grinned. "Bossy Blade, you're right. I'm afraid of being a big deal, just do it, I'll admit it if you lose it." Feng Xinger also pulled his long bow and smiled faintly. "Follow ye Blade, you've won so many games, are you still missing this game? Get on." Other teammates were fighting for the top, and their military talent was extremely high. Okay, since everyone has no opinions, there is nothing to say. Be prepared, let's go straight to the test site. I waved my hand and headed towards the map mark. The place where you try is not close to Qinghe village. You have to pass through several high-level areas on the way. The monsters are generally between 25 and 30, and there are various benefits and hidden traps. Ordinary players can basically go without going in. But our team relied on tacit cooperation and killed them all the way. Although their condition was so bad, they also had a lot of high-level equipment and materials, and their combat power was slightly weak. 2 days later, we finally arrived at the entrance to the test site. It looks evil here. The entrance is a huge black stone door, with blood-red runes engraved on it, and black fogs are surrounded by hidden sounds, as if they are coming from deep in the ground. The system prompt jumped out, warning. Enter the testing place in the ultimate high-risk area, and the player will be reduced by deep pressure, reducing the attack power by 10%, deducting 2% of his health per minute, and it is recommended to level 30 or above. Both trough, this debuff is more ruthless than the Dark Rift. Zishan wiped his sweat, and his shield was a little tight. Bossy Blade, we are not in a state, so if we force ourselves into it, we may be sluggish. It won't be cool. I sneered and said to Xintian, add blood and buff, don't stop, let's fight quickly, take the fragments and enter the darkness in purgation. Xintian pointed his head, slammed the staff, and wiped the whole team with Sanctuary Shield and Blessing of Strength, barely offsetting some of the debuff effects. Stepping into the stone gate, the scene in front of you changed instantly. It was a vast black wasteland, with cracks all over the ground, and there was still red light in the cracks, like rock slosh flowing. There is a huge sacrificial priest far away, with fragments of faint light placed in the center, and a giant monster of more than 10 meters tall guarding beside it. The ID shows King of Trials, level 35, the blood strip is thick enough to hide, and a giant steeped in his hand, which is hard to mess with at first sight. Ding! I tested the boss's testing king, and after being killed, I will get the third section of the Demon King seal fragment. I will find the final challenge qualification. Is it a challenge? Brothers, I'm ready. This guy is the last hurdle to the Demon King. Listen to me and don't come. I shouted, and the teammates responded. The Iron Mountain was in front, Xintian added a buff, and the Windwalker and Wizard came out in the back row. I took the Nether Wolf King to the side and prepared to steal. As soon as the battle started, the King of the Test roared and roared. With a huge wave, the Iron Mountain was directly shaken and the blood bar dropped by 1/3, almost not standing. Xintian was busy adding blood, the Windwalker was arrowing like rain, and the Mage AoE skill was smashed, but the boss defense was too high, and the damage and pressure roots were not painful. I opened the Shadow Instant Killing, and my body flashed to the boss's back. The dagger stabbed, and combined with the bleeding effect of the Blackstone dagger, I finally destroyed a small blood cut. Breaking, -680. This guy is too bloody, and his skills are also group control. Brothers, be careful. I shouted, teleporting to avoid the boss's attack, but it suddenly roared, and a black fog appeared on its body, and the attack speed surged. Zishan ate another pound, and the blood bar was almost blown away. Xintian consumed the blue amount quickly and reluctantly pulled back his blood, but the team was already a little chaotic. This boss has changed even more than the Blood Rage Demon. We can't stand it. A wizard teammate couldn't help shouting, with a hint of panic in his voice. What's the matter? Stay calm. I gritted my teeth and turned rapidly. I suddenly remembered that I mentioned a game loophole in the mysterious scroll I got in the Ghost Ruins before. Some advanced boss skills will have short mechanical gaps, and as long as I catch the time machine, I can break its connection. I carefully observed and found that after each time the King of Trials released the group control skill, there will be 2 seconds of stiffness. Although it is short, it is sufficient to operate. Shishan, stay on top of the group control. Windrunner aims at its eyes. The mage prepares its ultimate move. I'll stop. I shouted, and the teammates carried out. The King of the Test roars once again released shock waves, and the Iron Mountain resisted. The Windwalker shot its eyes with an arrow. The boss roared and entered the stagnant state. I seized the opportunity, teleported behind it, and the dagger stabbed into its back, and at the same time ordered the Netherworld Wolf King to open the Dark Madness, and the attack violently exploded, and his claws tore off a large blood cutoff. Breaking, -800. Ding! The King of Trials' move was cut off, and entered the 5-second weak state, and the defense was reduced by 30%. As soon as the system prompted, the entire team was greatly excited, and the mage's ultimate move and the Windwalker's shooting were crazy, and the boss blood bar finally began to fall wildly. After 5 seconds, although it recovered, its status was obviously not as good as before. I continued to catch the loopholes and grinded the team for a full half hour, and finally pressed the blood strip to a piece of silk. Go to die! I yelled, teleported behind it, and stabbed it with the last knife. Breaking, -850. Ding! Congratulations to the player Nightblade and his team for killing the boss testing king and obtain the third section of the Demon King seal fragment. The experience value has been greatly improved. The Nightblade has been upgraded to level 20, and the teammate level has been upgraded to level 2 to 3. At the same time, the final challenge qualification was developed, and the entrance to the Dark and Deep Purity has been opened. As soon as the system prompted, the whole team shouted. Zishan wiped his sweat and grinned, "Boss, you blade, Nyo Pai, this operation is simple and amazing." Shintian also relaxed his voice and said with a smile, Kairui, if you get the third piece, we can finally enter the darkness and purify. I watched the 3 pieces in my backpack synthesize the complete devil seal, and an unprecedented desire to fight ignited in my heart. Behind the forge, a black vortex appeared. The system prompted, do you enter the dark deep purity and challenge the world-class Demon King's Lord of Deep Purity? Difficulty, it is recommended to level 40 or above, and it is recommended to have more than 30 people. If the failure is not allowed, the penalty for failure, level 5 is reduced to level 5, and 20% of the attribute is permanently deducted. Trade level? Level 40? Shintian's face changed, Kairui, this difficulty is too low. We are only at level 20, and we will be forced to give it away. I will know if I give it or not. I gritted my teeth and decided to do it all. At this point, who is retreating is Shuazi. Brothers, we have prepared, we will either create legends or go together, but we will never regret it. The teammates looked at each other, and Zishan roared, Boss you Blade, do it, I believe you. The Windwalker also pointed, I'm following you now. I'll sorry for myself if I don't beat the Demon King. The other teammates responded, and no one retreated. Okay, then go. I waved my hand and stepped into the black vortex with my team. After a glare, we appeared in a dark space without any side. Under our feet were floating black stone slabs, surrounded by sweeping black fogs, and the air was filled with pressure. The system prompted, warning. Enter the dark deep purple and be reduced by desperate invasion, the attack power is reduced by 20%, the defense power is reduced by 20%, and 3% health is deducted per minute. Bottle, this debuff is so fatal. Zishan gritted his teeth, and his shield was shaking a little. Shintian quickly added buffs to the entire team, but the effect was severed and he could barely hold it. In the middle of the deep impurity, a huge figure appeared slowly. The ID showed Lord of Deep Impurity, level 50, and was several 10 meters tall. It was covered with black armor. It was holding a giant sculpted with black flames in its hand, and the red light was shining in its eyes, making people breathless. The system prompts, ding. I tested the world-class Demon King's Lord of Deep Purity, and after being killed, I will get the only number and god-level prize in the entire server. Is it a challenge? Brothers, this is the last battle. As hard as you can kill it, we will be the first in the server. I shouted, and the teammates shouted, the front row of the Iron Mountain, the core Tian added blood and buff, and the back row output was fully opened. I took the Nether Wolf King to the side and prepared a chance to catch. As soon as the battle started, the Lord of Deep Purple roared in a shocking roar. As soon as the giant sword was blown, the AoE and the black flames directly swept across the entire field. Most of the blood strips of the Iron Mountain instantly dropped, almost killing them in seconds. Shintian was busy adding blood, but the blue consumption was fast. Although the Mage and Windwalker in the back row output was fierce, the boss's blood bar was almost unmoved, and the defense was too high. Breaking, -700. I teleported behind the boss, and the dagger stabbed, and it was about to destroy a small blood cut, but it turned around and swept it. I didn't have time to hide, and the blood bar was directly seen and almost swept away. Shintian used the blue amount to pull back a piece of blood, and shouted anxiously, Kairui, this is not possible, the harm is not enough, we can't stand it. You have to bear it even if you can't stand it. I gritted my teeth and turned rapidly in my brain. I thought of another loophole I saw in the mysterious scroll before. The black flame AoE skill of the Lord of Deep Purple has a hidden mechanism. After each release, there will be a 3-second energy gap, and its defense will be shorter and less. I shouted, Iron Mountain, stay at the next AoE. The Windwalker aims at its eyes. The Mage takes the ultimate move. I'll come and catch the time. The Lord of Deep Purity once again released black flames, and the Iron Mountain resisted. The Windwalker shot its eyes with an arrow. The boss roared and entered the state of the energy gap. I seized the opportunity, teleported behind it, stabbed the dagger wildly, and at the same time ordered the Netherworld Wolf King to crazy darkness, and the attack force exploded. In cooperation with the output of the entire team, I forced the 5% of its blood bar to be destroyed. Ding! The main defense of the deep purifier is reduced for a short time, lasting for 3 seconds. As soon as the system prompted, the whole team's military was greatly boosted, but the boss quickly recovered, and his skills became more violent. The black fog summoned small monsters, and the range AoE frequency was getting higher and higher. The blood of the teammates rose and lower, and the amount of core Tion's blue had long been empty, so they could only rely on the medicine to harden the water. After dragging the battle for an hour, the teammates continued to fall. The boss couldn't hold on to the top of the Iron Mountain, the blood bar was cleared, and the Windwalker was attacked by the monsters and was also blocked. In the end, only I, Xintian and another pastor were left. The state was so bad that the boss's blood was still 20%, but we were almost unable to fight again. Kairui, are we really not able to do it? Xian was crying in her voice, and the staff in her hand was almost unstable. It's okay if it doesn't work. I bit my teeth and looked at the boss's blood strip, and my heart blew. Xintian, you and the pastor add me the last blood, I'll fight. After saying that, I poured all the medicine water, and the blood strip was barely strengthened halfway, and the teleportation and cold, and the body flashed behind the boss, and the dagger stabbed, and grabbed the energy gap again. Breaking, -850. The Nether Wolf King roared and bitten. In line with my output, the boss blood bar finally fell to 10%. But it suddenly roared, and the black flame stormed, and entered a violent state. The attacking force increased again. When a slam came, the pastor fell directly to the ground, and the bloody strip of Xian was at his dismay, and I was the only one standing. Kairui. Come on. Before Xintian fell down, he reluctantly added a shield to me, and his voice was so weak that he could hardly hear it. Don't worry, give it to me. My eyes were red, and an unprecedented ambition arose in my heart. I teleported and avoided the boss's attack. My brain was full of the previous battles, from the Novice village to the Dark Rift Valley, from picking cypress to the team to picking fragments. Every step was now, and I must not fall here. Boss, go and die. I yelled, grabbed the last energy gap, teleported behind it, stabbed the dagger hard, and cooperated with the Nether Wolf King's biting, and forced the blood strip to a piece. Breaking, -900. Ding! Congratulations to the player Nightblade and his team for killing the world-class Demon King Lord of Deep Purity, completing the ultimate challenge of the Realm of Nothing, and won the only named Shadow Master in the entire server, the God-level equipment Deep Purity Blade, the special prop World Key. The experience value is over, the Nightblade has been upgraded to level 30, and the teammate level has been upgraded from level 5 to 10. Announcement of the entire server, the Nightblade team creates legends and is famous all over the world. As soon as the system prompted, the dark fog dissipated, and a golden light covered the entire field. All the team members were resurrected, and the blood stalks were filled with blue amount in an instant. The whole team was stunned for a few seconds, then it burst into a shocking cry. Zishan held the shield and shouted, Boss Yi Blade, Neopai is blowing up, we really killed the Demon King. Xintian had a slight in his eyes and hugged me, Kairui, you are so bad, I think we are really not going to do anything. I gasped, grinned, and patted her on the shoulder, if you said you won't let you get out of grade, I will never go back on your word. Then I opened my backpack and saw that the attack power of the Blade of Deep Purple was so high that it was too high, and it also had a range of AoE effect, so I changed it directly. The description of the world key reads, unlock all the secrets of the Realm of Nothing and start the game's ultimate plot. I chose to use the world key, and a golden light flashed, and the system sounded, ding. Congratulations to the player Nightblade for revealing the ultimate secret of the Realm of Nothing. The core of the game is set to player master, and all hidden loopholes and plots are written by the powerful. The Nightblade team became the first group of masters, and their names are left in history. Player master? I was stunned for a moment, and then I understood the original intention of this game was to let the strongest players define its rules and stories, and we became the first group of people to create legends. the entire server channel exploded in full swing, and countless players sent a greeting, and even Wanbo sent a message, "Yeah bien, although I hate you, I'm convinced this time." I felt a sense of accomplishment when I looked at these news. "Brothers, we did it." I turned to look at the teammates and said with a smile, "From the Novice village to the dark and deep purity, every step is a legend. Let's continue to walk together in the future and create our own story." Xintian pointed his head and his eyes were bright. "Kairui, whether it is a game or a reality, with you here, I am not afraid of anything." Zishan, Fengxingsh and others also kept talking, laughing in the dark and deep purity. I held the deep blade in my hand tightly, and looked at the light that was lit up far away, and my heart was incredibly satisfied. From an ordinary player in a novice village to the only Shadow Lord in the entire server, only we understand the hard work and refreshing journey. The secret of the realm of nothing has been revealed, but the legend that belongs to us has just begun. I took my teammates and walked towards that light, towards our future.